Also got Barkley and Eddie Hall, and this is going to be a good one too, Al.
Looking forward to it. Barkley, always in exciting fights, and Eddie Hall, a young boxer, 10-0, being anxious to see what he has to offer.
Best seat in the house? Why not pull up a chair and join us now as we go into the ring and get the official introduction of our two fighters as they're standing by and ready to go. And once again, with the introduction, here's Michael Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, this next bout is scheduled for 8 rounds, and it's in the middleweight division. The referee for this contest is Joe O'Neill. And now introducing first in the red corner. He's wearing the white trunks with blue trim. Weighs 158 1/2 pounds from Uniontown, Pennsylvania. Undefeated in 10 consecutive bouts. His record 10-0, 5 by knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, the Uniontown Flash, Eddie Hall. And introducing in the blue corner, wearing the black trunks with gold trim, he weighs 160 1/4 pounds from the Big Apple, New York City. His professional record, 9 victories, only 2 losses, 6 by knockout. Introducing Iran the Blade Barkley.
So as these two fighters get ready to go in the middleweights for the 8th round, Joe O'Neill will have a couple of comments to keep the fight in order.
There's no 3 knockdown rule. It's a mandatory 8 count. If you go down, I must count to 8. Don't walk away from me. Bell only saves you in the last round. You're professionals. I expect you to act like professionals. Any questions? Any questions? Shake hands. Good luck.
Well, a lot of people are waiting to see what this undefeated fighter Eddie Hall can do. He's 10-0 with 5 knockouts, and so are we. Iran Barkley, his opponent in the other corner. We've already seen him against Robbie Sims when he lost here on January the 6th, knocked out in the 6th round. But we know he has a good punch, 6 knockouts and a 9-2 record. Let's find out what happens here. I asked, by the way, what he thought about losing to Robbie Sims and what effect it had on him. And quickly they said, that's ancient history. We're in the prime time. And so here they are in our co-feature tonight from Atlantic City.
Iran Barkley always comes into fights with confidence. He's a very confident young fighter, exciting young fighter, and he can punch. I'll tell you, he can hit. And there's one thing they'd like to improve on, of course. It's the fact that he does tend to get hit a little bit too much.
Eddie Hall in the white with a blue stripe, 25 years of age. Barkley at 24.
Hall is trained by Richie Giacchetti, of course a familiar name to a lot of boxing fans. Had Larry Holmes, among others, earlier in Holmes' career, and in fact well after Holmes won the title. And Giacchetti's known Eddie Hall really most of his life, helped him as an amateur, and Hall used to help them out in Uniontown, Pennsylvania, where he's from, in their gym. And Giacchetti says he has a real sentimental feeling about him because these youngsters seem to grow up. Oh, good right hand. That one got to Iran Barkley a little bit.
Barkley stepped back and almost didn't find enough canvas to step on as he almost went down, but caught his bounce. Another right hand by Hall.
Eddie Hall showing us a quick right hand.
That's some great hand speed, Al.
Sure does. I thought he would be moving a little bit more on Barkley, but he has said, hey, I'm going to stand in here and show you some power early. Giacchetti wants Hall to use the jab. He says against a big puncher, you've got to use the jab to nullify him and keep him from getting off first. That's what Hall's doing so far. And he is also countering with that right well.
This could very easily be a main event somewhere, the way these two youngsters are continuing to climb up the ladder in the main event. But Robbie Sims and Mike Tiller, Barkley with the right hand, sends Hall reeling, comes back to the left-right combination. Now he goes downstairs. Whoa! Back with the left hand. Oh, what an exchange with these two middleweights. Hall going after Barkley.
Vintage Iran Barkley. He hurt Hall and then took a good shot himself.
He comes back with the left hand. He's got Hall in trouble. Hall comes back with the left hand of his own. What an exchange here in this round.
This is precisely what happened in the Barkley-Sims fight. We're seeing it all over again against Eddie Hall.
Deja vu. Barkley now stalking. Hall a little more wide-eyed as he looks on.
Neither man wants to go in at this point. They've both been stung. Stung badly.
I moved back 6 inches from the ringside. Closing seconds of a wild first round. Well, that's a way to get the fans up off the bottom side of their seats for sure, up on the edge of their chairs.
I don't think that's the last we've seen of that kind of fireworks.
Hall throwing the last punches at the end of round 1. He's got appreciation of what has happened on.
wipe you off. Let me wipe you off. Okay, now you got off the jab plane. You got off the plane a little bit because you went to go slug. I don't want you to slug with you. You got hurt, but you got off your jab. You got to keep back to your jab, all right? Work off the jab. See, we countered you at one time because the jab was slow, right? So keep the jab working. You boxing. Then when you get him hurt, you don't go crazy on him. Nicely. You go real nice, all right? Keep the jab in there.
Probably
Keep
one
it
of the
moving,
better
baby,
first
okay?
rounds we've had
Let's
in
keep
top
work
rank
off the
boxing
jab and
now.
start and finish
Yeah,
with
there's
it.
the left
Don't get
hook
carried
that,
away.
Hall-
Your right hand was down. That's why you got countered on. Keep him up. Let's
There's
keep
the
to the
left
game
hook
plan,
by,
all right? You're in good
Hall
shape now. Let's go.
Came back
Keep the
against
jab in his
Barkley. And,
face.
you know, the thing about these exchanges as you watch them is one man gets hurt and then leaves himself open for a shot that will hurt the other guy. So,
Well, that best seat in the house is certainly yours as we go into round two. Middleweights that have absolutely just taken some pot shots at each other early. Iran Barkley on the left with his back to you now, Eddie Hall. You see him flailing again with those not so much combinations, just trying to load up for the one fight.
Richie Giacchetti, very interesting. He wanted Hall to stun Barkley, but he did not want him to slug with him. He wanted him to use that jab and not forget about that weapon. I think, Sam, this boils down to Hall hurting Barkley with the straight right, Barkley hurting Hall with his left hook. That's both their respective best weapons.
It has become quite evident now that Hall is going to do a lot more movement here in round two. And it's up to Barkley to try to cut off the ring. Barkley waiting in, trying to throw as much of that lead left as he can. Making the right, tried to lead with the left of his own was Hall, but couldn't get either one of them in.
Iran Barkley very tentative about throwing his own jab, and the reason is that Hall is countering over it with his right. And here you see at Hall, a little more movement, boxing. Hall dismissed the fact that he hurt Barkley.
Barkley comes in with the left right, but Hall countered it fairly well. Most of them caught by Barkley's shoulders. These two middleweights are sparing no energy at the moment here in the second round after just a fierce first round.
When Ed Hall boxes and keeps within himself, he does well against Barkley. But when he starts throwing those wide looping shots to trade with Barkley, that's when he has trouble. As most fighters do when they trade with Iran Barkley, including Robbie Sims, who, and you'll see evidence, a little bit of evidence of that in the piece on him later, though in that one we concentrate more on what Robbie did. But Barkley hurt Robbie when they fought.
You see the stalking style of Iran Barkley. New York City, 24 years of age, 6'1", 160. There you see that left hand that kind of detained Hall, and he followed it with a nice right.
Hall is getting Barkley's respect when he's saying, oh, good left hand by Barkley. The left hook of Iran Barkley is a tremendous punch. That's one that Hall is going to have to avoid.
Al, the way the punches are being thrown right now, it is just a matter of time until there is one on the button and somebody's in big trouble.
I think you're right.
Well, after that first round, got the excitement really going. Second round is quieting down, but there's still more to come with these two middleweights.
490 Odenton, Maryland. 1-800-453-1800.
Third round.
Here's the story of this fight in microcosm. Left hand by Barkley, but he takes a left hand and returns from that off. So what they give, they get back in this fight.
First round was just a classic. Second round, quietened somewhat, and now both come out with both corners telling the fighters in their respective camps to load up. At least that was the information coming by Eddie Hall's corner. Al, this is one of those fights, quite a skirmish going on. You've got it, what?
I guess that looks a little odd, but I made the first round even, get the second round to Barkley. So I've got 1-0 for Barkley before he
By that.
I have never made a prediction like this in the 4 years I've been doing Top Rank boxing.
Find it down, folks.
I'm going to say I think this fight will end in the fourth round.
The fourth round.
I'm not saying who'll win, so I have a feeling the power of Barkley will come through. I think in the fourth, this fight will be over.
Barkley keeping Hall against the ropes. Hall answered with a pretty good right to the midsection of Barkley that at least momentarily stopped his flailing away at it.
Hall,
big
Hall is not boxing with Barkley, Sam. He is slugging with him. That's why I really felt this fight would end before a round or two was over, because Barkley just has too much power for Ed Hall.
Looping right hand by Barkley. Barkley just starting to sit down on those punches now. He feels something here in the third round.
But, you know, here's where Barkley is dangerous to his opponent and to himself, because when he gets this way, he leaves himself open often and gets hit and tagged with punches, as he did in the first round. Even though he's hurting Ed Hall, he's still vulnerable.
Hall slipping for a moment.
Oh, there it is. The left hook by Hall.
Left hook. Another left hook.
Barkley's in trouble now.
Barkley now. Now Barkley comes back with a big right hand. These two middleweights have absolutely punished each other in the third round. Oh, you see a right hand by Hall as Barkley walked right into it. A right hand by Barkley on Hall's face.
Technique has gone out the window now. Both these fighters have technique when they're fighting well. They don't have it now, but it is exciting.
There's that left hand by Barkley. Another left hand, but Hall still trying to counter him. Barkley just loading up with the left hand on Eddie Hall, though. 30 seconds to go, this in the third round. Eddie Hall, by the way, has run right out of his left boxing shoe, by the way. It is split out badly on the left side, which will hamper his footing just a bit. Closing seconds of this, the third, and you can see what these middleweights have done.
They are wide open. Both of them are wide open, but they're landing.
Well, defense has absolutely gone right out the window in this fight now in the third. As Barkley got some great shots in on Eddie Hall. Hall said, well, watch my smoke, and he threw some in on Barkley.
Hands up, take a deep breath. Take a deep breath. Take a deep breath. Start going for combinations. Quit loading up on this guy. How you feel? Good. All right. You hurt you?
How you feeling?
Good. Okay. Has he hurt you? No. Okay, but now let me tell you something. You carrying them hands, too low, my man. You understand what I'm saying? Get them elbows in. Hands up, look through your hand blade, shorten your punches up.
In the last round, Eddie Hall, very aggressive. Now here's where he started getting in trouble because he's wild. Now he lands that good left hook to the head of Barkley, but when you exchange with Barkley, you ask for trouble. And that big right hand landed against Ed Hall. More action for that round, and you'll see it's very similar. Both fighters wide open. That left hook got in by Hall, and it was a big round for both fighters. Round four.
Well, the prediction of all times. It'll end in 4 by Al Bernstein. Let's find. He didn't say which way, though.
No, I didn't.
That was a hitch job, I tell you.
That's true.
But here it is with Barkley against Eddie Hall, and again, both of them loaded up and unloaded in that third round after just a whale of a first round. Rather quiet second round, but number 3 really piqued the interest again. How about 3 rounds now?
I gave that third round to Barkley, too, by a very narrow margin, and I've got him ahead 2-0 and 1.
So Barkley still pitching the shutout right now on Al's card.
And of course, second round especially quite close. First round, too, for that matter, so he could go several different ways. But I think Barkley's landed more of the harder punches.
Well, as you look at 2 middleweights here, keep in mind we've got the grudge match coming up. Yes, it's a rematch between Mike Timlin and, of course, always dangerous Robbie Sims. That'll be the main event tonight, as it was Timlin in a controversial split decision the last time they met, and now they meet again here on Top Rank Boxing. That's next on our main event.
Barkley got tagged a moment ago with a terrific straight right hand off a lazy jab. Now Ed Hall fighting a little smarter, not being so wild. And Barkley with a healthy respect for the punching power of Ed Hall.
Good combination by Hall. Caught Barkley again. Halfway through this, the 4th round.
Iran needs to get in where he can throw that left hook. Much of this fight has been fought at long range. I think an edge to Hall, even though I've got Barkley winning. That's part of the reason why Hall's still in the fight, I think. This has been fought at closer quarters. He'd be taking those left hooks, and I'm not sure he'd still be standing.
You mentioned earlier that Hall had resorted into just the slugging. Due to the fact he needed to box a little more, and indeed here in the 4th round, he's staying away from Barkley, but he's got hit with a big right.
Barkley wants to turn this into a brawl.
There's that left hand again. Yes. Barkley. Barkley just a slight swelling in the right eye. No problems here in round 4. Scheduled for 8, by the way. Hall kind of faded with the right hand and almost got caught with the left hand as Iran Barkley almost pulled the string. Middleweights, Iran Barkley along with Eddie Hall as they fight just before our main event tonight. They're putting on quite a show at the Superstar Theater here in Atlantic City. Well, with Al Bernstein's only prediction he's ever made on Top Rank Boxing, by the way, with no knockout in the 4th round, we enter the 5th. Iran Barkley and Eddie Hall. Boy, Richie Giacchetta across the way is saying, hey, you can put him away. This man is yours.
I really did feel the way they were going at each other. One of these guys would go down. I still think that's bound to happen. We were both getting hit with real bombs. But I think Hall, as Giacchetti indicated, was boxing better in that last round, was a little more disciplined, which is part of the reason why no knockout occurred. I mean, he really was doing a good job of keeping Barkley at bay. Toward the end of that round, Sam, he hit Barkley with the right hand and buckled his knees. So that right of Hall was getting in.
Well, Richie's going to have to send a note over here if he's going to change styles on you in the 4th round.
Well, how can I be expected to make these predictions if they're not going to cooperate, for goodness sakes?
All very quiet, gentlemen. Last fight, September the 22nd, got a 4-round knockout of Forrest Fitz in Cleveland. Last fight also a knockout by Iran Barkley. Forward in the right forward. Here comes Hall again. He's got Barkley in trouble.
Now he can't get wild. See, he's getting wild. He's going to leave himself open.
He did. He got caught with the left hand by Barkley.
He should be jabbing and throwing a straight right hand.
Still punishing Barkley, though.
Oh, but he took a big right. He may get Barkley out of there that way, but I don't know. I doubt it. I think he just leaves himself open when he gets wild like that. And he took a couple of good shots.
Halfway through the round.
Well, we have had some exchanges in this one, haven't we? And every time Ed Hall really hurts Barkley, he completely loses his poise, which is unfortunate because at other times in the fight, he fights well.
I don't know if any of you go by the numbers, but the 1st, 3rd, and 5th rounds have been the big bomb rounds. The even rounds have been rather close. 1 minute to go. This in the 5th.
Tell you what, Ed Hall, we knew he had a fairly good straight right hand. That's a good one, but he's shown us a good left hook as well. But the danger in that is you never hook with a left hooker, and that's what Iran Barkley is at his left Hall open.
You see the KO ratio. Barkley with 6 knockouts in his 11 fights. 5 knockouts in the 10 by Eddie Hall so far. But you just get a feeling, as Al has alluded to, that the end could be near at any moment. 1 punch away.
It's interesting, though, as hurt as these fighters have been, nobody's gone down. Though in that 1st round, each man came close.
You see Hall throws the left hook and then ducks the left hook. Was the 2 middleweights exchange punches near the end of the 5th round. Scheduled to go 8. We'll continue at 4. Today's card.
6th round.
Here's the counter right hand by Ed Hall, and it kind of knocks Barkley off balance. And Ed Hall's landed that punch a lot.
Ed Hall, Iran Barkley have put on a nice show through the first 5 there in round number 6, scheduled for 8. So how about the scoring now that you had Hall shutout? You've given him a couple in a row, it appears. Huh?
Yeah, I had 2-1-0 for Barkley, but the last 2 rounds I've given Ed Hall. And he started to get that right hand in. He's boxing a little more effectively, and very close fight, even in fact, as far as I see it.
That shoe problem Hall was having, they've now put some tape on that. His left foot was almost completely out of that shoe, which I have to believe would do nothing but ill if he started to back away from a punch.
All of a sudden, a lot of foot movement from Ed Hall. How much punching to go with it, though? It's strange. Well, they may want to lure Barkley in the end for that purpose, try and hit with the straight right. Good left hook by Hall.
You see Barkley, he's slipping those punches in of his own, and Hall. There's that left hook by Barkley, but he gets hit with one of his own from Hall.
Now, Now Hall again is brawling with Barkley. And when he does that, he pays the price. You know, he gets some of his own shots in. Strategically, Ed Hall has the tools to win this fight, and I think to win it handsomely. He's got that good boxing skill that can give Iran trouble, but when he gets in there and slugs with Iran Barkley is when he gets into trouble. That's why it's a very close fight. And of course, Iran has the power to knock out many, many middleweights.
Timeout now being taken by Joe O'Neill. There is some tape that is askew at the moment on the left glove. Giacchetta gets it taken care of, and now we're back as the time resumes for our 3-minute round. One of the things they were telling Barkley is to not forget the left hand. You've got to lead with that left jab and then follow with the right. He said he was completely forgetting it.
And part of the reason he hasn't been using it is because he's getting hit with the right by Hall as he throws that jab.
It's like a conditioned reaction. You throw the left hand, you get hit with the right. You do that often enough, you don't want to throw it anymore.
Yeah. You know, Barkley, a very good body puncher, hasn't been close enough to really use that skill in this fight. Hall hasn't gone to the body at all. Close round here in the 6th round, and maybe a pivotal round.
I'll call Eddie Hall somewhat of an unknown commodity. We have not seen him that much, obviously, with that 10-0 record. Iran Barkley, seen him against Robbie Sims and other competitors, but Hall coming in here has certainly impressed a lot of people, including, I'm sure, Iran Barkley, the man that is stalking him at the moment in the ring.
This will be a tough round to score.
It's round number 6 as the middleweights are set to go 8.
You know, the business world moves fast. I've found only one publication keeps pace with it every business day. Only this, the Wall Street Journal. Not weekly, not bi-weekly, today.
7th round.
Well, we got one of those even rounds out of the way. 1-3-5, a bit just dynamite, and here we are in the 7th, so let's see if the fireworks pick up again between Eddie Hall and Iran Barkley. Barkley again in the black and Hall in the white.
Well, Hall lands that right hand over the jab of Barkley, where he started a lot of these rounds.
Hall, since trying to just slug with Barkley very early in rounds 1, 2, and 3, again, has started to do a little bit more obvious movement and boxing in Barkley. Not to say that he has not been hit, as you see him exchanging punches well. Those are all combinations. Not all of them are on the money, but they are all getting some contact and hurting.
Boy, you're right. Round 7, just like all the other odd rounds, is really...
Halloween's over, isn't it? I thought it was.
Yeah, that's true. Wasn't this fight supposed to end in round 4, didn't I say?
Yeah.
Could I have been wrong? Is that possible? I'll tell you, Barkley's going to the body quite well here. When he gets inside with Hall.
There's that left hand by Hall, just trying to hold Barkley off with nothing else. Barkley now appears to have a cut over the right eye. Hall sees it and quickly goes to that left jab right to it.
And I think that did come from a clash of heads when they were over on the far side of the ring. Trouble, big
Barkley's
trouble.
in big trouble, but Hall is staggering as well. Both of them almost out on their feet now.
And I think Hall is the one that's really in trouble because he's hanging on for dear life right now, and he's a couple punches away from being out of this fight.
Barkley trying to tee off on Eddie Hall. Hall still caught a good punch on Barkley, but it is Hall that is now glassy-eyed of sorts.
They are both in trouble. You're right, Sam.
I think it was an absolute exchange of left hooks that caught right on the button of both of them.
And they're both tired. They're both in trouble in this next to last round. Ed Hall's really wobbly now.
1 minute to go in the 7th. Throw out the even rounds, take the odd rounds. This has been a whale of a fight.
They're both fatigued right now, and they're just wailing away. Either man can go. Hall really looks tired now.
You see him exchanging punches. Keep in mind, one of the judges did not show tonight. The referee, the ultimate, Tony Perez, is the 3rd judge here tonight. He does, of course, do some judging in the New York area, so obviously here in New Jersey as well. But again, he'll be called on, I'm sure, before this one should be over. Come up with a decision as we're closing in on the end of round 7.
And they are both still standing, and that is news.
The bombs have been thrown by both camps. The final decision still to come in the 8th and final round.
You'll see that as they trade left hooks. Oh, yeah, you were absolutely right, Sam. They both traded left hooks. They were both hurt. Hall a little more so, I think. Barkley having a hard time with his balance.
Oh,
wow, did they catch left hooks right at the same time.
It is rather easy to laugh at this, but nonetheless, those hurt.
Eddie, don't get careless. You had him knocked out. You see you went on him. You got a jab. You said send him back up in the gloves. You hear me? Keep your hands up, and when you go with him, finish up with a right uppercut. He's bending down when he's wide open on this area. He's hanging in here like this. With a right uppercut, all right? When he's bending down. Don't get careless. Fighting spurts, you know what I mean? Do it. You're nice and loose. Let's go.
Ladies and gentlemen, round 8, the final round. Eddie Hall and Iran the Blade Barkley.
You'll see again the two left hooks from yet another angle. You can see that Barkley was hit hard. Hall was really wobbled. And he was having all kinds of trouble staying on his feet.
Well, will it go the distance, or is this it? This is indeed the last round. But there's 3 minutes to find out if one will be standing or if they'll both finish for a decision call, which could be very close.
And will we get a good round and an even round? We'll find out.
The odd ones have been the best ones so far. It looks like 8 is picking up its tempo for a good even round. Right hand by Hall.
Well, that's the punch he's used throughout the evening. My scoring has a little bit of an edge to Iran Barkley, 2-1, but boy, this fight could be extremely close.
This is the 8th and final round. Hall saw a duck away from Iran Barkley's right cross that time. Barkley looks a little shaky on his legs right now. I have to admit, as he kind of stepped backwards. There's a right hand by Hall, followed with a good left hook. Calling right by Hall.
Excuse me, Sam. Sorry. Hall is waiting to drop that right hand in. And he's landed it a lot. He hasn't been able to put Barkley down, but he's stunned him with that punch. They must know it's an even round. They're very cautious, even though it's